Hi, everyone. It's Dr. Arlene Diamco, the Multidimensional MD. Thank you for listening to my podcast, also the Multidimensional MD. My mission is to help bring the intuitive aspects of health back to medicine in practical and tangible ways so that you can access deeper healing and experience more peace, love, and joy in your everyday lives. So today, it's episode 201, and I am going to go through decongesting the lymph, because this is so important. We are starting to change in seasons, move in the fall, our metabolism is adjusting, and people are more prone to coughs and congestion. So we're going to go through what is the lymph system, what does it do, signs that you might need some help, or why you would need help decongesting the lymph, what decongesting the lymph can do. And we're going to go through a various movement and exercise things that you can do to decongest your lymph system. So this is going to be part one. And then in part two, I'm going to go through some herbal remedies as well and other things that you can do for your lymph system, because this is so important and in healing in many different ways. And as an aside, as an announcement, if you haven't gotten my book, I Am Intuitive, this is now available on Amazon, in person at my practice, on allworldspress.com. It's called I Am Intuitive, a multidimensional guide to embrace your inner light. And I love, love, love hearing everyone's experiences with it. You can open it up to any page. And I've seen this so many times. You will just open it up and read exactly what you need to read for that day. And it's really remarkable to see people do that in person, and then to hear the stories and to hear just, the tears that come up because there's something so meaningful and just a short amount of time. It can also build on itself, so you can read it from start to finish or open any page. And so one other announcement is that we also have the first workshop for School of Stillness. That is Saturday, September 28th, in person in my practice. And I will be teaching people directly, and you'll have a lot of time one-on-one with feedback. I'm going to be teaching not just physicians, but any person that is interested in developing their awareness and perception, how to reclaim their body. So this is a space clearing of sorts, but in a multidimensional way, to reclaim themselves, to reclaim their space, just with your own perception and consciousness. We won't even be necessarily needing to use any tools or other things. So this is just you, with you expanding your energy and perception, and then also how to reconnect with the land. It's going to be phenomenal. I'm really excited for whoever has signed up already. And I've had amazing experiences teaching this one-on-one. I've taught physicians, but now I'm ready to circle back around and teach non-medical, just anyone, therapists, regular people, how to do this for yourself. So I'm happy that. If you have any questions on that, please let me know. So to get on with our topic for the day, what is the lymph system? So the lymph system, it is important for draining inflammation. So anything that ends in itis, otitis, sinusitis, pleuritis, any itis, then you need your lymph system to work to be able to clear debris and toxins, including infection. So it works with a network of vessels that carry a fluid called lymph, and that fluid is filtered in the lymph nodes. And lymph fluid is also rich in infection-fighting white blood cells. So effective lymph drainage can help balance a person's immune system and so much more, and help you detoxify. So we need the inflammatory response, but we also need to be able to clear it. So inflammation is necessary to protect ourselves. It's part of the immune system response, but it's not meant to linger indefinitely. So for it to be a sustainable response, just like anything, it needs to flow. So you have the inflammatory response and then the resolution of that. So lymph is so important for both aspects. The lymph system also works like a siphon, meaning that that fluid moves via suction. So if you think about draining a fish tank, you start the pump with your hand, you put the tube in, you start the pump going, and then once the water starts flowing, it can continue on its own. But if there's a kink in the system anywhere in the tubing, the flow can become sluggish or even stop altogether. So the lymph system works similarly in our bodies. And if functioning, the fluids move seamlessly and well. And so if something gets stuck, then there's a problem. So we'll take a look at that and break it down a bit more. So when might the lymph system need some extra help? So some signs that your lymph is congested is if you feel sluggish or fatigue, if you're getting sick easily, if you're literally congested, sinus congestion, nasal congestion, the regular use of the term congestion that we're used to. If you're getting rashes to the skin, so that inflammatory response is backing up, your body's having difficulty detoxifying, your liver might be backed up. If you have any swelling in your body, so if you're waking up feeling like more puffiness to the eyes, to the face, or even if you can feel in your ankles or on your arms that there's just like a little puffiness, the fluid swelling, and that's very common. So it's okay if you feel that, but it's a sign. Use it as a compass, as a guide to what to do. That means there's some inflammation in the system, so take steps to tend to it. So in this part one, we're going to focus more on movement and exercises. So what can you do if the lymph system, what can decongesting the lymph system do? It will, as we were talking about, decrease inflammation. It can open up airways and encourage the drainage of mucus. It can relieve sinus congestion. It can ease tension in the body and ease tension in the diaphragm. It can relax the body so you can feel more calm and focused. And when we go through various exercises, when I've taught this class live or even on Zoom, we did that a lot in the pandemic. I taught over 100 people during the pandemic lymph decongesting exercises, lymph pumping exercises, and that they were able to do on themselves so that you can feel this wave of relaxation. You can feel things starting to open up and move, and that flow is health. So we need movement for health. We need flow for health. So you might also think of paying more attention to decongesting the lymph system when after illness or with allergies, if you have been traveling or anytime that you feel run down. So some of the basics of decongesting the lymph has to do with movement. Okay, so this podcast is going to focus on that movement because if you remember, it moves like a siphon, and those lymph vessels, they don't have any muscular in the walls like the arteries do to keep them open. So if there's any tension in the body or any restrictions in the flow, then the overall lymph flow will become more sluggish. And so to be able to open up that flow, we need movement, and the lymph relies on movement. It relies on the diaphragm moving well, so without any restrictions to breathing. So that diaphragm really helps to siphon the lymph and help to pump it. It relies on us actually like moving in life, like getting movement with our muscles so that kind of coaxes the lymph to continue to move and flow and drain. And it can also move like with little vibrations. And so we're going to talk about different examples of these things. So with those little vibrations, that could be with dry brushing. So I like to do dry brushing, could be done with a brush, but I like to do it with raw silk gloves. And what you would do is just gently move everything from your extremities, from arms and legs, starting from the farther part. Let me see, you can see me there. And then moving it towards the center. So towards the center of your chest where that lymph duct, the major lymph duct is there, that thoracic duct. And then just keep moving. You do on both sides. You can do it down your armpits and towards the center. And then you would do that with your legs too. So starting from your ankles and brushing up. If you have those raw silk gloves, then it makes it really easy because it's just very lightest massage. And so if you actually go and visit someone that does lymph massage, it's very small movements. And so lymph loves that little vibration, and that can feel really good for moving the lymph. You can also do that with rebounders, or nowadays they have so many different kinds of equipment. So some equipments are just literally you stand on them, they vibrate you like a power plate, or variations of that where you vibrate, or you can literally just like bounce up and down on a rebounder or on a yoga ball. And these little fine movements like that will encourage some movement to your lymph. So I can feel my lymph do that. It makes me kind of laugh because I can feel like this wave go through me as I'm doing that. So if you don't have to do all of these exercises every day, but if you pick one or at least some kind of movement every day, then that can be really helpful for your lymph system. Breathing, the movement of breathing that I was talking about before. So we want this ease to the diaphragm movement. There's so many different kinds of movements. It could just be simple belly breathing. So you could put one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly and just encourage that breathing movement into your belly, encourage that movement of the diaphragm, exhaling more fully to fully relax the diaphragm to get things moving. You could also do this alternating nostril breathing. And so this is really common in Ayurvedic practices, but it's interesting because I came across this passage in the Edgar Cayce readings, and he is the most well-studied psychic of the 20th century, and a lot of his readings had to do with health-related issues, and they were meticulously recorded. So there's over 10,000 readings. So in one passage, this was in reading 281-13, he says, breathe in through the right nostril 3 times and exhale through the mouth. And then breathe in the left nostril and then out through the right. And you do that 3 times. So if we were to take our hand and to cover the left nostril, we would breathe in through the right and then out, exhale through the mouth. And again, and then out through the mouth. And one more time. And then out through the mouth. And then we're going to alternate left then right. So left, and then out the right. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale left. Exhale right. Now, this does many things, that alternate nostril breathing. Not only does it encourage this movement of the lungs and the rib cage and all those muscles in between, but it also encourages this connection from right, left sides of the brain to communicate with each other. And so this is a cross-lateral exercise in addition to being able to help move that diaphragm and help move the lymph more. So you get multiple benefits there. And if you followed along with the exercise I did just now, then I'd be so curious to hear what you felt with it, because for me, I can feel, it just like turns on those brain connections, like the networks just get a little bit more on, and I can feel this extra just a little bit more relaxed. It's just, even if it's just a tiny whisper, you just step into that wiggle room. So that would be a great thing to do. Get the benefit of cross-lateral, you get the benefit of breathing, get benefit of moving the lymph. And you could do that before anything at the start of your day, before you have to speak, before you have to go to work, presentation, school, whatever. If you need to be extra on, calm, focused, and you need to move that congestion, then that could be a good exercise to do. So you could just get general exercises into your life. So yoga, dance, going on a walk, any twisting motions of the body. So if you're just to do a simple like twisting exercise like this, I'm just like letting my arms kind of naturally flow on either side. So that kind of exercise, another cross-lateral. Any twisting exercises are going to be cross-lateral exercises as well. So they help to wring out the body. So if you have areas of congestion, it's just like gently wringing it out and encouraging that movement. You get that with all kinds of exercises, and you could just have a little dance party with your family. You could do inversions. So inversions are anywhere where you're turning yourself upside down in a way. So whether it's just a simple forward fold where you're folding over, you could do it in your chair and just fold over, head down to your feet, or standing. So inversions are okay if you do not have high blood pressure. If you do have high blood pressure, then it's best to keep your head above your heart. But if you're okay with it, inversions are one of the best things that you can do just to help relieve any stress, tension in the body, ease up some tension in your back, improve the circulation, including circulation of blood and the lymph. And those are relatively easy to do. So maybe I'll do an episode sometime on just chair exercises that you can do if you're in the office, and variations like that. So yeah, but if you can't get some exercise, or you feel like you need extra help, then obviously you can go out and get extra help, whether it's through massage, actual specific lymph massage, or even regular massage. Whatever kind that you like will be helpful. You could do some self massages for yourself. You could do some just motions of the head, so rotations of the head, just looking one way or the other way. My friend, Dr. Lilia Gorodinsky, also did a great set of exercises of neck exercises, head and neck exercises that help to drain the lymph system. And I'm going to drop the link below in the comments and in the details here if you're on YouTube. And you can access that too. So there's so much you can do for the lymph system. You don't have to do it all. Just pick something that you can incorporate easily. If you need extra help on top of that, then come visit me or any osteopath that does OMT, or osteopathic manipulative treatment. We would love to help you. We work with the lymph all the time, which is often ignored in regular medicine, unless it's throwing out the flames and fire. So if your lymph system is so inflamed that it's coming out in your labs, then they start to pay attention, and then you start to get anti-inflammatories and things like that. But you don't have to wait until there's a big fire. You can start to listen to those smaller signs. You just don't feel quite right. You're a bit sluggish. You're maybe tired. You have a little bit of swelling, but it's not that bad. A little bit of congestion, but it's not too bad. And you're getting chronic inflammation, chronic illnesses, chronic infections, whatever it is, then osteopathic manipulative treatment can be very helpful for that. And then I did a whole class on SelfLymph pumping, which is really amazing. You have lymph all around here, anywhere in your neck, under your arms, all in your belly. The lymph is all over the body, and it has its own blood vessel system. And if you think about how many people are familiar with like the blood supply, at least knowing that there's all these lines of arteries and veins all throughout the body. Well, the lymph system is the same way, but we don't talk about it quite as much as the blood supply. So that kind of circulation. So lymph circulation is also very important. And in the class that I teach, and I teach this one-on-one to patients as well, is just doing these small little vibrations. And if you learn how to do it just right, that lymph pumping can be so efficient. Even within seconds, minutes, you can feel some sort of drainage if you're congested. I've seen people that had swollen lymph nodes in their neck, or sore throat, redness in the throat, sinus congestion, even congestion elsewhere in the lungs and the belly, and they start to feel it literally drain, so physically drain, when they do these little lymph pumping exercises. And everything pumps towards the center. So just little tiny vibrations And then I'm just doing a quick demonstration here, but there's a lot more detail to it, because if you get it just right, you got to pump through and towards the center here. All that lymph is draining to that central thoracic duct, the lymph duct, and then also then to the heart. So if you're interested in learning that, then I am happy to teach you one-on-one visit, or maybe we'll do another lymph pumping class sometime, and you can learn how to do that effectively. I teach both osteopathic students, osteopathic residents, osteopathic physicians how to do this very efficiently, but I can also teach regular people how to access the lymph in their body and how to access that fluid and be able to pump it efficiently. And it can make all the difference in the world. And people that I taught years ago have told me that they are still using it, and it's something that they turn to. If anyone is sick in the family, they still remember how to do the lymph pumping, and they incorporate that, and they can start to feel that lymph drainage. And so it's something that is really helpful to do. But that would be a whole other video, and much easier if it's one-on-one, because we need to fine-tune your perceptual skills to make it just right. But maybe I'll make a general video on that sometime. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me on this part 1 talk of decongesting the lymph system. And we will continue this conversation, because I have a lot more to talk about with that. We're going to talk about the alkaline diet and how to use that for the lymph system. We'll bring in some herbs that we can use to help get the lymph moving. So we'll continue the conversation. So thanks for joining me today. If you want to connect with me further, you can on my Instagram at All Worlds Health, on Facebook, All Worlds Health and Pediatrics, or my website. I send out emails about once a week on Wednesdays, and that's allworldshealth.com. And you can sign up for my e-love letters. As always, I would love to hear from you. Drop a comment, like, subscribe. If this is helpful for you, or you know anyone that this could help, then please share it with them. And lots of love to you. I believe in you, so I hope that